Good morning, everyone. So I thought I'd make a quick video so that everybody could figure out what's going on. I'm still getting some questions about what's due and how all this works. So here's an updated syllabus. I'll post this online. So this is the assigned homework, and instead of putting when it's due, I just put the topic that it goes with. So assigned homework you'll see in the fourth column over. We'll follow that down. And you can see right after spring break we started respiratory systems. So we've already done respiratory and urinary. Those are behind us. And so exercise 33, all exercise 34, 1, and 3 through 11, those are end of chapter questions done from the Saladin text. You can either email those to me. I think that's the only option. Email those to me or through D2L or ryan.oblander@msubillings.edu. Then we go to the urinary system. Exercise 36 and 37. You can email those to me, or I've created a quiz with fill in the blanks where you can submit those online. Then we get to this week. So this week is digestive system, and you can continue to do things just as they were. No big deal to me either way. I'm just trying to make things more valuable to you since we don't get to do the type of exam that we would like to do. So you can continue to do the end of chapter questions. So that would include exercise 38 this week, and you can do all of those questions. And then next week you can do all of the questions for exercise 40, with the week after that being all of the questions from exercise 41. And then on April 16th, we'll have our final exam. That final exam will be through the Visible Body courseware product. So because of that, I've given you the option to also do, or not to also, but instead of doing the end of chapter questions from the Saladin text, I've given you the option to do them from the Visible Body courseware. And so what that looks like, this should be what your page looks like. You've got my courses, and we'll go ahead and select yours, which is the Bio H212 Hybrid Spring 2020. When I open that up, the very first page it takes me to is the assignments page. Now there are chapters here that are in the past for you folks, and I've only left them there for reference in case you want to go through and see what it's all about. I don't know where you're at with lectures, so maybe you haven't taken a test on the lymphatic system yet, or maybe you haven't taken a test on the circulatory system. I'm not sure where you're at in that, especially with all the changes. So I just left it here. If you want to look through there are modules where you can go through the slides. There's practice quizzes. There's graded quizzes. None of that is worth any points for our class specifically. Again, this is just there in case you want to reference it. Where we pick up is going to be right here in the digestive system. So from here forward, and I only say this because most of you have already done the end of chapter questions for the respiratory system and the urinary system. So what we will have here is the option to do these instead of the end of chapter questions. And when I say these, I'm referring only to the graded quizzes. Everything else is resources. The PowerPoint or the video that I post online is from the modules. So I'm going to click on modules, and that takes me to these 5 assignments here, these 5 chapters. These 5 chapters are the 5 videos that will be posted on D2L today if everything goes well, but they are already on my YouTube channel because that part has worked. So if I was to click on Introduction Digestive System, that takes me, and it will take a minute to load, especially your first time. And now that I think about it, it's not going to work because I'm on my iPad. But this would take me to that chapter where I can go through slide by slide, and it will have 3-dimensional models that I can look at. So each of these is its own chapter. These are just the modules. Then I've got the anatomy ID, the practice quizzes, the graded quizzes, the lab activity, and the augmented reality lab activity. The only thing that would be worth points here is the graded quizzes. So you can open up this graded quiz, and again, I'm on my iPad, so this won't work. It has to be on a computer. If I was to click my digestive system, or my digestive dissection quiz, it would open up a quiz that would have me select particular structures. So let's see if this actually works. Sometimes it does, but it's very unreliable. We might get it to work to the first page and then it'll probably freeze. So the reason I've turned these as an option, again, not required, is because this is the exact format of the final exam. So I thought if we could get 3 weeks in of doing these quizzes, it would better prepare you for that final exam so that the first time you take that exam isn't the first time you've seen these models and this style of test taking. So again, these are options. You don't have to do the quizzes. You can still continue to do end of chapter questions, but this is the exact format of the final exam. So I wanted you to be as prepared as possible because there's been enough change going on. So as much as it is another change to the format of the class, it's not required, but I do think it will better prepare you for the final since this is the exact format. So basically what our final will be, as you can see here, there's 2 graded quizzes here. It will just be a larger version of these. So the digestive dissection quiz, that will be your 40 questions that would have been the fill in the blank. And instead now, those 40 questions will be a dissection quiz where we say, select the greater tubercle of the humerus, which isn't something we would be doing, but it's just an example that came to my mind. You would touch that on the model, and then it gives you points for that thing. If we're doing the respiratory system, it will say select the right primary bronchus. And on that 3-dimensional model, you then have to take your mouse and click the right primary bronchus. If it says select the ureter, you then have to take your mouse and select the ureter. So there's a little bit of a learning curve there, and that's why I wanted you to have this opportunity to do these to get used to the system. Now, all of these options, whether you use the end of chapter questions or the visible body quizzes, they are completion points. I'm not grading you strictly on this. This is simply for you to have another source of points available to you so that the final exam is not your only choice of points. That's my entire purpose behind all of the end of chapter questions, is to give you guys another way to get some points in the class. It may not be valuable to you, but most people are giving me feedback that it's valuable. So they learn a little bit and they get points for it, and then they have more than just 2 grading opportunities. So now I'm going to go through the rest of this visible body part here. So you've got a calendar here. Sometimes this is useful. For your class, it's not going to be because I've made everything due the day we take our final on the 17th of May. But normally you would be able to scroll through here and see what's due. Since everything's due on one day, if you go to April 17th, it will show you that there are 49 different things due here. Most of those are a ballooned number. The only thing that would be worth points are the graded quizzes and not the ones from the past. So we haven't seen anything yet that would be worth it. Okay, now there's our first thing, the digestive system, graded quizzes. The urinary system, we've already done. Human development, we're not doing. Reproductive system, graded quizzes, do that one. And I think you get the point. The easiest way, in my opinion, is to go right here to your assignments page. Now we're going to start off with digestive system. So you would just click right here on graded quizzes. Those would be your chance to review that. Next, we've already done urinary, so next is the reproductive system. You're going to have graded quizzes here. You'll have female and male, both dissection and multiple choice. So there's questions in each of those. Again, under the assignments tab. Course resources, there is the copy of the updated, and it's going to want me to download. This is the updated syllabus. So if that loads, anyways, that will show you the file that we've already seen right here. So I've uploaded this into the visible body software. I will also upload it into D2L. Next is your grade book. This gradebook will show where you stand. So this is going to be a little bit inaccurate for the time being because it's going to include points for the endocrine system, which we're not doing, the blood, which we're not doing, the heart and the blood vessels, which we're not doing, lymphatic system, we're not doing, respiratory system, that we did with, we're not doing that through visible body. Same thing. So now we start with digestive system. So this will show you if you've got things completed. You can just go in and see, and I apologize for those of you whose names are on here, but I don't know how to hide that and still make an informed video. Here's your announcements tab. This is where I can post announcements in here. So I've got some announcements here. I'll click those just in case you haven't seen them yet. You can see them. This is just saying click around, get to know the software. We can go back to announcements. If you are a DSS student, please let me know. I can go into the software and it will allow me to change the time. And then I said getting started. So I've included a getting started quiz. This will be worth 2 bonus points if you go in and complete that. From there, we go to invite people, which that would be anybody that you know, friends, etc., that need to join this class still. You can copy that link, email it to them, and it'll take them into this class. And then manage the class roster. Those are more things for me. So if you have any questions, let me know. I will post everything on D2L. So there will still be things on D2L. In here, this is where your grade will be posted. So we're going to go to grades here, and I'm not going to do that because that would be a bad thing. But let's see, I'll just end it right there. So if you have any questions, let me know, and we'll continue to move forward. Thanks.